So for my whole life, I've never really gotten up before 7 a.m. because I'm not really a morning person, naturally, to be honest with you. I'm always the kid who always wants to sleep in. A lot of times I would just sleep in till like 3 in the afternoon and then feel great and just skip hours of eating because that's just who I was back then. And now the difference between me and who I was 12 years ago, really, is that now every single week I get up at 5:30, something along those lines, every single week. And now that's a drastic change. And don't get me wrong, I did not do this by like a wag of the magic wand or whatever. No, it was deliberate, and I wanted to change this in my life. And the reason why I wanted to change this in my life is because oftentimes there was just a little bit more of an inconvenience to me when I was getting up late during the week because, I'd be late for work. I'd be just rushing to get to work. And rather than actually focusing on spending time with myself, praying to God, making sure I have time set aside just for me to develop myself and to grow myself and to center myself throughout the day, rather than just like getting super busy and then just like going towards whatever I'm doing that day. So I decided to do that. But here's the thing. I tried it cold turkey. And I know I've mentioned this like in a previous video that's on my channel and whatnot about 2 years ago. But this is just a refinement. I've tried it cold turkey. And it did not work. Because I literally went to bed. Usual time. Typically 10 o'clock. And then I got up at 5. I was so freaking tired. So tired. I couldn't keep my eyes open to do anything at that point. And then also I was just questioning like, okay, I got up this early. What the frick do I do right now? And because I had nothing to do. I didn't really have a plan set. I didn't really know what I wanted to do at that point. And so I ultimately went back to bed. And that just didn't work for me. And so here's the thing that actually got me to waking up at 5 a.m. typically every week. And I don't normally do it on weekends because that's where I like to sleep in. See, I still like to sleep in, but I get my productivity in at the same time. And I actually did it somewhat differently, which is I did it incrementally, which is pretty much just like for me, since kind of an everyday thing would be too much for me. I didn't think that would last. I did it just by weeks. So an example of this, I was getting up, let's say, at 8 every single morning. So let's say this week, I would get up at 7:30, set my alarm for 7:30, and just decide I'm going to get up at 7:30 every single day. And then the next week, I switch it to 7 as my body starts getting used to these earlier and earlier times, giving it time to adjust, obviously. And then I slowly started doing that over and over and over and over again till I got to the point where I went to 5 a.m. Now, I have gotten some people before like, yo, that takes way too long. I'd rather just do it cold turkey. And I was like, sure, go ahead. I'm just telling you what worked for me. And if you're anyone similar like me, then hey, it might work for you too. But it's not for everybody. If you want to do a cold turkey and like just be a person who's a masochist a little bit, then go ahead, try it. But for me, in all honesty, this is the part that worked very well incrementally for me. And it helped a lot to the point where I was able to get up at 5 a.m. and not feeling tired. Because not only along with that, there's 2 other things that I also did to help me get up easily every single morning as well. And so the second thing I actually did, paired up with working on it incrementally, was actually that I put my alarm across my room. See, right behind you, the camera is my bed, because this is my bedroom, obviously, and this is my desk. And I would put my alarm clock that way, and it would be across my room. So it has to force me to get up in the morning and then hit the alarm to make it stop. Now, it makes it harder to snooze, in all honesty, because a lot of times when I'm already up, I typically hit the light to make sure that I'm awake, and I'm blinding myself to make sure I don't go to sleep, and I'm also hitting off my alarm. And the reason why I do that is because I'm trying my best to set up this habit so that, I make it harder to sleep in, and I make it easier to stay up. Because it's so easy to sleep in. It's so easy to hit snooze. It's so easy to go back to bed, especially if your alarm is like right here, right next to my bed, right? But that's why I put it across the room, forcing myself to actually get up and do something, my body to actually respond, to make it harder for me to be like, okay, I did all this movement. I sort of want to go to bed, but I've already gotten this far. Why not continue? And then making it easier to honestly stay up because I'm forcing myself to actually do that. And that's, you could just read this from even Atomic Habits and whatnot, one of the best books about habits and everything like that. But the main things that help habits really stick to your life is really making it easier to do them and then harder to do the things that you don't want to do anymore. And so that's just one simple element. Just put your alarm or phone, right, across your room or in another room that you can hear it, that will wake you up. Because that's the main thing. If you make it harder for you to actually sleep in, then more often than not, you'll actually stick to the routine and the habit that you actually want to build in your life. And that's what happened with me. And then here's also the third thing that actually made it a lot easier for me to get up in the morning too, which was pretty much I actually had something to do in the morning. Because that's really important. Because like I told you before, when I got up before, like at 5 a.m., when it was hard, right, I didn't really have a game plan. Because what's the whole point of getting up in the morning if you're not planning to use that time for anything else? Right? Because the whole point of getting up earlier is so that you can get certain things done before your day really starts. And for me, I wanted to use that time to develop myself a little bit more. Whether it was with going to the gym, doing my devos, having my prayer, journaling, making sure I'm reflecting on the past day and whatnot, making sure I'm looking at the mistakes I've made, learning from them, making sure that today is a little bit better than yesterday. And that was my game plan. But at first I didn't have a game plan, so I had to implement something. Because obviously, if you're just going to get up earlier and you actually have nothing to do, you're going to be wandering around your house or apartment and just be bored, and you'll be like, man, I don't know what to do. Well, sleeping seems pretty good right now. Yeah. And so for me, it was just implementing a routine. Because I'm a creature of habit, so are you. And so some people like things different. That's fine. But for me, it's just pretty much setting aside an hour, pretty much my first hour after I'm brushing my teeth and everything like that. And I just journal my thoughts of what happened yesterday, how it happened, and what am I looking forward to today. I read my Bible, right? I pray. And then I read some devotionals afterwards. Then, at that point, I get ready to go to the gym. That maybe takes me like an hour, maybe an hour and a half after that. And then after that, I go eat breakfast. By that time, it's maybe 7:30, 8. I go eat breakfast, and then I get ready for the day, which is either recording a video like this, scripting some ideas, thinking of titles, thumbnails, preparing myself for work, because maybe I have some sales calls, or maybe I'm doing certain things like that, or working on some chores around the house, doing something. I'm doing something. And at a certain point, like, it doesn't really feel so tiring getting up that early in the morning, because I'm doing something. I'm actually making progress with my days. I'm actually making much more progress than if I were to sleep in, because I would sleep in, maybe get ready, take a shower, probably wouldn't have enough time to go to the gym, and then eat breakfast, and then, oh my gosh, I have to work right now. So there's a huge time thing that I didn't have if I chose to sleep in, which sometimes it does happen. Don't get me wrong. I'm human too. I'm not going to be one of those people to be like, oh, I get up at 5 a.m. every single day. No, that's not truth. I do that most of the days and majority of the days, but obviously not all of them, because there's going to be times where I go to bed a little later because there's something that happened the night prior where I had to go sleep a little later, right? Whether it's work, whether it's friends, whether it's with my fiance, whatever the case is really. And then I was just like, okay, well, I got to substitute what I lost with what I got in the morning. And here's the key thing, too, that I've even noticed with myself. Since there's such a big time window in my morning routine, because I get up like around 5-ish, and I start work at 10. And people call me crazy for that, because it's like, you're insane. Why would you do that? You have so much precious time to sleep. Well, guess what? If for that day I went to sleep late, I can use that time and still get things done, and still move forward with my life, and still get the important things done for me. which is crazy. Because I could choose, okay, I'm not going to get up at 5:30, 6:30. Guess what? 6:30 to 7:30, I'm doing my morning devos. Maybe I can't go to the gym, but I did my breakfast and everything else like that, and I'm still working on videos. That's still a win. And sure, it might not be as much as I want it to be, but it's still a win. And that's one of the major benefits that I've seen is just getting up, because I'm not a natural morning person. But people think I am now because I tell them the time I get up in the morning. And I was like, no, my parents are morning people because they can't sleep past 6 o'clock in the morning. For me, I can keep going till like 1 o'clock. But I chose to have a different life because the life I wanted to have didn't match up with the habits that I was having. So I knew I needed to change. And this is the main point that I want you to understand for the 10 people who are watching this, right? Understand, is the life that you're living, is the habits that you're having in your life right now, are they the things that you want to continue because that's the life that you want to have for yourself? Or if you want to have a different life, maybe that's more productive. Maybe that's more intentional. Figure out the things that you want to do that should be a part of that life. For me, I wanted to be more intentional with my time. I wanted to be more productive with my time. So what I did was pretty much, I chose to get up earlier, using more of my time, opening up so much more time in my day to get the things that actually matter to me, to make sure that my eyes are focused on Christ, to make sure that my life is rooted in the Word, to make sure that I have my priorities straight with what I'm going to do in the day, and I'm actually focused and well prepared to go into work, to do my all. And the fact that I'm still staying consistent with the things that I know I want to be consistent in, too. And that's the main thing. Now, I'm not the person to be like, you need to get up at 5 a.m. because that's the only way to operate in this world. Absolutely not. Anyone can be super productive with any time that they get up. It might be a little weird, sure, but I mean, if you're a night person, go ahead, be a night person. Just make sure you get quality sleep and it works out with your schedule and your life and your loved ones. But for me, it's better for me to get up early because I am not a night owl, to be honest. I'm just more of a sleepyhead, to be honest. I'm not a person to stay up at like 2 to 3 in the morning because, I can't sleep, or that's just when I'm most creative. Bro, after I'm done with work, I'm barely creative anymore. So that's why I need to get it before I'm done with work. Before I even start work, actually. And so there's whole different things for everybody. This is just something that has worked for me. And if this is something that you actually want to grow in, and you've seen my story and got inspired by it, hey, implement those 3 things. Do it incrementally. Make it harder for you to sleep in and easier for you to get up. And then also have a plan on what to do with your morning. What do you plan to do? Are you going to journal? Are you going to, not to flick you off, are you going to journal? Are you going to read? Are you going to exercise? Are you going to prepare your day with whatever because you're a person of habit or whatever the case is, really? But that's all I have. And I hope this helped at all. And anyways, I'll see you guys next week.